Yo, so today we're answering a question that I get asked quite frequently. I get asked this question a lot. And what that is, obviously, as you guys can see, what is the best intake for the Dodge Charger? This could be the Dodge Charger Scat Pack, RT, Hellcat. My boy out here getting it, that's right. Any of the above, and I'm gonna answer that with my opinion. Remember I said that this is my opinion, you feel me? So I don't wanna see none of y'all in the comments like, that isn't the best one, this is the best one. I mean, this is all subject to opinion for the most part. You know, there is, like, you could do the numbers and obviously some are gonna perform better than others. And I've done my research, you know what I'm saying? So this, in my opinion, will be the best intake, and taking into account cost, effectiveness, versus the overall result that you get from the intake itself. So I'm considering all of this when coming to the conclusion on what I feel is the best intake for the Dodge Charger. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, stick around. We ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna get right to it. Without further ado, let's go. All right, so if we take a look right here, you know, I'll bring up my phone for you guys. We can see if we search Dodge Charger intake, we got, you know, there's several different intakes as you can see, and a lot of you guys know what intake I have. I will be showing you that as well in a second. But you see, you got the K&N, you got another K&N, several different K&Ns, and that's, you know, I wouldn't say cheap, but it's not as expensive as, for example, the AFE Momentum GT cold air intake. Very good intake right there. That one you're getting a little higher up in price, and we'll be talking about if it's even worth it to go that high in price with the options you have. You see, you got the, what's that, throttle performance, and I'm not familiar with all these either. You know, I'm not gonna act like I am. I'm not ever claiming to know it all when it comes to this stuff. That's why I tell you guys this is just my opinion. In fact, I say that I don't know it all. I always tell you guys I don't know it all. Like, I'm still learning a lot, you know what I'm saying? So take that for what it is, take what I say with a grain of salt, but you know, here we go with my opinion. We got the Corsa, you know, that's you know, that is around the same price as the K&N, I believe. And there's several different ones you see, you know, but one that isn't listed here, and I guess it's not really an intake, but technically it is, and that's the Hellcat lower airbox. And what that is, you know, basically what it sounds like. It's the intake, or, you know, the lower airbox that comes in the Hellcats. And you could also put them in Scat Packs, you could put them in RTs, you know, and basically it just creates more airflow. And especially in the Challengers, even in the Chargers, you know, you could get it with the tube, which I do recommend if you go with the Hellcat lower airbox, because that's gonna suck more air in. And in the Challengers, where the light is at, there's actually a hole on the smaller light, the smaller headlight, and it's able to suck the air in right through there. And in the front of the Chargers, there is that mesh, so you still get air in through the tube, which goes to the Hellcat lower airbox and the filter and all of that. So I want you guys to let me know, what do you guys have as an intake on your Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger? Really doesn't matter, you know. Do you have a Hellcat lower airbox, or you just stock, or what's your guys' favorite intake before we get into mine? Because we're about to go see what I got right now. Boom, and as you guys can see, it's a little dirty under here. We're gonna do a video on cleaning this very soon as well. I've had a few requests to do that, so we are gonna get to that. I was gonna do it actually for this video, but I figured I might as well touch on this because a few people have asked me. And as you guys can see, obviously I got the Momentum GT. Now, is that to say this is the best intake you could get? I'm not saying that, you know, because we got to consider money and everything. You guys seen the price on that. It's not cheap whatsoever. Thankfully, I didn't have to pay for this Momentum GT. My boy Jose sent me that. Shout out to Jose. Very early on when I first started this channel, he sent me a big old box full of just different stuff, you know, one being this Momentum GT here. So I definitely appreciate that, because if you ask me, I wouldn't have bought that for the price. Even though I will say, if you have the money to spend, this is probably one of the best ones you could get. Absolutely, I would say if not the best, it's definitely up there in the top, you know, 1, 2. I would say it's the best. That's just my personal opinion. But when you consider the price and everything and the results you get from it, when you're not tuned or anything like that, you don't really get that much of a difference. Of course, it's good to add more airflow, and it'll make things a little bit cooler. But this thing ain't cheap, you know what I'm saying? So let's hop back up in the vehicle and we can continue this discussion. All right, so there it is. You guys know what I got. A lot of you guys that are familiar with the channel already knew that. And like I said, it doesn't really do much. I'm not tuned. That's pretty much the only performance modification that I have, but not being tuned, you don't really see that much of a difference, you know? And you don't really hear it because it's an enclosed one. That's another thing we could touch on. If you want to go more towards performance, it's better to get an enclosed one. Just from the things that I've heard, the research that I've done, that's what I've seen. You get better performance from that. If you want more of sound, then you go with an open one because that's going to give you that sound you're looking for. But me personally, I'd rather have the performance, even though like I said, you don't really get too much performance not being tuned. But it's always good to have more airflow. You know, that's never a bad thing. Keep things a little cooler. So let's get back to the whole discussion on why I wouldn't say that's the best one you could get with money and everything considered. We talked about the Hellcat lower airbox. There's all those other ones. If I were to get an intake and I wanted to spend the money on one, you know, and I was getting the tune and everything, like to make it worth it, then I would just get the Momentum GT. I wouldn't really consider any of the other ones. That's just me. There are other ones out there as well that we didn't cover, so let that be known as well. And like I said, you guys could let me know if I'm missing out on anything. Like, you know, give me your guys' opinion down below in the comments on what you think the best intake is, if you don't think it's the Momentum GT, or if you have the Momentum GT and you agree with me. But back to what I was talking about, I feel like with everything considered, the results you're gonna get from it and the money you're gonna spend on it, I think your best bet is going with that Hellcat lower airbox. And you could search around for videos. Like, trust me, I've searched many different videos, and one of the videos that I found, or a few of the videos that I found where the Hellcat lower airbox and the Momentum GT were tested on a car that I believe it did have a tune and all of that, the Momentum GT did come out on top, but it wasn't so much to where those extra hundreds of dollars I feel like would be worth it for most people. You know, for most people, I think you'll do perfectly fine with the Hellcat lower airbox. You will see some gains from it. Like I said, very minimal, especially if you're not tuned, with other things added as well to complement it. But the Hellcat lower airbox with the tube, very inexpensive and very effective. You know, you could search around, like I said, do all your research. I'm not gonna give you all the details and go super into depth with it, but just know from the things that I've seen, the research that I've done, that's the conclusion that I've come to. That's what I actually went with. I actually bought a Hellcat lower airbox, and that's what I was gonna put on my car with the tube until I seen my boy send me that box and the Momentum GT was in there, and I figured, I got that, I might as well use it, you know? So that's what I ended up doing. But if it wasn't for that, I would have went with the Hellcat lower airbox. So at the end of the day, that is my opinion. I feel like your best bet is going to be with that Hellcat lower airbox and the tube. Don't forget the tube, that is very important, you know, that adds a lot. So basically that is my choice. Hellcat lower airbox for the win with the tube, for the money and the effectiveness. I feel like that's your best way to go. If you have the money to spend, I feel like the Momentum GT is the best one. Again, based on things that I've seen. You guys, as I said a few times already, let me know your opinions. Drop a comment down below. I'm sure everybody would like to know what others' thoughts are as well, not just mine. That way we could, you know, have some good discussions in the comments and see where everyone's at with it, see what comes up the most. That's what I love to do. When I do research, I don't just look at the first thing, you know what I'm saying? I look at several different sources, several different people that are talking about different things, and I kind of see what comes up the most. I see, you know, what results they get with what they got, and I look for, like, you know, more reputable type sources for my information. I don't just go to anybody and think just because they're saying it they know what they're talking about, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people sound like they know what they're talking about, but at the end of the day they're just winging it, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I always make it a point to let you guys know that I'm not an expert with none of this stuff. You know, I'm not one of those car guys that really knows everything in depth. Like, when I started this YouTube channel, I was barely getting into, like, I've always been into cars, but I had never been into like working on cars and knowing the ins and outs, you know what I'm saying? So once I started this YouTube channel, that's when I barely started to delve into that area of, you know, being a car guy, I guess you could say. So I barely started learning this stuff about, you know, a little less than 2 years ago, coming up on 2 years now, you know. So I know a little bit, but I don't know a whole lot. So everything I say here is just my opinion. It's just based on the things that I've seen, the research that I've done. So like I always say, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it as this guy knows everything and he's an expert, because that is definitely not the case. I say it all the time, even though people act like they never heard it, but that's fine with me, man. You know, I'm just doing what I do, answering people that ask these questions and trying to help out as best I can, you know what I'm saying? This isn't my bread and butter, you know, the whole informative type content, but it's just things that we got to do, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather be out entertaining you guys, doing fun things, but obviously we can't do that 100% of the time. There's gonna be times where we got to get this informative content out there as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out tremendously. I appreciate it greatly. All links for anything you guys might need are down below in the description for the social platforms. The 1391 merch and apparel, we got a whole lot of stuff over there. We got hats, we got jackets, we got hoodies, obviously we got sweats, we got bombers, we got different type of hats as well. We got a whole lot of stuff, man, not just clothing. We got accessories as well. So if that's something you guys are interested in, you want to support the kids, support the channel, and help us level up over here, that's something that you guys could do. If you're into gaming, I have a gaming channel that's linked down below as well. Everything I use and recommend on the channel is linked down below in the description. In any case, I hope you guys are all doing well out there. I hope you're all living your best life, prospering, reaching those next levels, reaching those goals that you set for yourself. Remember, anything is attainable in life. I always like to, you know, just reassure you guys and let you guys know that you can attain anything that you put your mind to. Don't set your limits low, man, because there is no limits in life. So don't set limits for yourself, and don't let anybody set limits on you. Know that you could do whatever you want in life. I know I'm gonna do a whole lot in life, so be right there with me, man. I'm gonna see you guys at the top. Until the next time, who is LouieXIII checking out? Salute.